Guys, it's Fonzie with DipYourCar.com, world famous peelable auto paint. Now we have another technique that we're going to show you today that's not necessary, especially from a DIY point of view, but that fits really well into our set of advanced techniques. Something that may help you get a quicker, easier, cleaner end result when dipping your entire car, especially when you have a car that has a bright or contrasting OEM color as far as the paint job itself. Let me walk you through exactly what I'm talking about. Now what we're working on today is a Volkswagen Golf, and as you can see, the OEM paint here is white. Now one of the challenges that you can run into when you're working on a car that has either a bright or white OEM paint, or even an OEM paint color that's contrasting the end result color that you're going to be dipping your car, is that if you don't get solid, complete coverage in all the cracks between all the seams, between all the panels of the car, that you can actually have the OEM color at certain angles poke through and be visible. Now that's something you definitely want to avoid. It's one thing to get full solid coverage on the middle of all the panels, but you really want to make sure that you get nice solid coverage wrapping around and inside the seams between all the panels as well. Now the best way to attack that is the technique we call the spot shot. Now if you've been watching the Dip Your Car channel for a long time, you know that we've been spot shotting cars for years. Now the way that we attack it is we identify what our base color is going to be on the car. What's the first gallon that we're going to be putting down on the car, in this case gunmetal gray, so we grab one or two aerosol cans of gunmetal gray, something that'll match your base, and we walk around the entire car, all the seams, and we put two full wet coats down with the aerosol along the seams of the car. So what we're doing is essentially focusing on those seams, getting them out of the way first before we even load the gallons into our sprayer and start attacking the surface areas of the panel. Let me show you how it's done. Now this is one of the areas that we're going to be focusing on for the spot shot. Now I'm going to walk you around the entire car after we're done and show you all the different seams that we've attacked. But around the window trim here is a really good example. We're going to spot shot all the way around and make sure that we get full coverage of our gunmetal gray up into this seam. It's going to follow down the door here where you can see it's already been started, all the way down across the door panel and back up this line as well. So basically anytime you see two panels coming together, anywhere where you see a seam, you can see that we did it around the door handle here. That's where we're going to get our spot shot. So what you want to do is get your aerosol that matches your base color. And you're just going to do the first one pretty light. You're just going to keep moving. Don't build up too much coverage too fast because we don't want to get a drip or a run this early in the project. Follow the entire seam all the way down. Be real careful getting under the mirrors. Now I'm going to follow this seam down as well. And all the way back. Now this might seem like it takes a little bit of time, but believe me, when you go in and you start spraying your first couple of coats of gunmetal gray through the gun, you're going to see that it just immediately fills in between the lines and you don't have any light coverage areas around the cracks. It can save you a ton of time and a ton of effort. Now I'm going to work my way around the car. Now I'm going to walk the camera around so you can see everywhere where we've applied the spot shot on this car. And essentially you'll notice that anywhere between any panel, any seam is coated with 2 coats of gunmetal gray. And it's very easy to use this process because all you do is essentially edge out the entire car. Between any 2 panels, anywhere where there's a crack or a gap, you just come in with the aerosol and you fill in 2 coats. You can do this on essentially any vehicle, motorcycle, ATV, truck, car, anything, and it will definitely help you out. One thing that it really helps on is wheel wells. A lot of people forget to get full color coverage on the inside of the wheel well edges, and this really helps so you don't have to pay too much attention to it. As you spray the car, it'll already be filled in. Now this entire vehicle has had the spot shot routine applied, and we're ready to move on to the DYC spray system and the gallons to get this thing dipped. It's going to be much easier now to confidently move from panel to panel, knowing that we already have a start on coverage between all the panels and in the gaps and the hard to reach places. We'll get those nice big surface areas covered without having to worry about any of the OEM paint poking through. Now the aerosols work really well for this routine. You can use the spray gun and just dial the product back to a small spray fan for this. However, over time we've noticed that the aerosols work much better because you have a lot more control to get into those tight spots and really hard to reach places. We really enjoy using the aerosols more, and at $6 a pop, you only need 1 or 2 for a larger vehicle to get the job done. Now if you have any questions at all about dipping your car, please email CustomerService@DipYourCar.com or call in. One of our techs will be there to talk you through the process. It's Fonzie. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you on the next one.